So guys, after finishing that lesson 1 on the introduction, I'll come directly to lesson 2. And lesson 2 is dealing with operation with whole numbers. So I will start operation with whole numbers in lesson number 2, guys. All right. So welcome to the video and enjoy the lesson. Or what do you say, guys? Let's go to the lesson. So lesson 2, operations with whole numbers. Objective: perform basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division with whole numbers. Materials: whiteboard and markers, calculators for those who can afford. And then we have handouts with the problems. Activities: warm up 5 minutes, quick review of whole numbers. Introduction will take 10 minutes. Demonstrate addition and subtraction of whole numbers. And then you demonstrate multiplication and division of whole numbers. Activity, again, practice problems in pairs, solve sample problems on the board. Summary, 5 minutes. Discuss common mistakes and the tips for accuracy. And your homework you give will be problem set on operations with whole numbers. Lesson notes: operation with whole numbers. The subject is mathematics. Operations with whole numbers is the topic, and the grade level is junior secondary, ages 11 to 14. Duration is 45 minutes. Objectives of this lesson will be: learners by the end of the lesson should be able to understand and perform basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with whole numbers. And learners should be able to apply these operations in solving real-life problems. Materials is a whiteboard and markers, calculators if necessary, handouts with practice problems, and then textbooks. Although we don't encourage calculators in lower classes in high school. Key concepts: addition of whole numbers. Definition: addition means combining two or more whole numbers to get something called a sum. That is what we mean by adding. All right? Properties: because in mathematics, you don't operate without rules. There are rules, and these rules are the ones which make students have nightmares in mathematics if they don't master them. So please welcome to the properties of the properties you should consider when you do the addition of whole numbers. The first one is known as commutative property. That is, A plus B is the same as B plus C. Meaning, if you add 2 and 3, 2 plus 3 is 5. If you start with 3 plus 2, the answer is going to be the same. This is known as commutative property. It does not matter which number you start with, the answer will be the same. Associative property. This is where you have 3 numbers. You first add 2, that is A plus B, then you get a sum, then you add another number C. So that way, if you start with A and B, and then you add C, it's just the same as you start with A, and then you add it to the sum of B and C. So this is what is known as associative property. A plus B in brackets, you start with that. Then what you get, you add as another number C. Then we have A. Now, we associate B and C and get a sum and we add it to A. So let's see. 2 plus 3, 5, plus 4, 9. So let's see whether the other side will be the same. Remember, our A was 2. So 2, and then B plus C. We say that is 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. So 2 plus 7 is 9. So you see, we come to identity property where if you add 0 to any number, you get the same thing. A plus 0 is A. 2 plus 0 is 2. 100 plus 0 is 200. 1 million plus 0 is 1 million. Example. All right? Example of addition of numbers. 13 plus 17 is equal to 40. Subtraction of whole numbers. Subtraction means finding the difference between two whole numbers. All right? Properties there are two. Non-commutative property. That is, A minus B is not equal to B minus A. For example, 5 minus 1 is 4. But 1 minus 5 is negative 4. You see, they are not equal. All right? Identity property, A minus 0 equals A. So if you subtract 0 from any number, you get 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. 8 minus 0 is 8. 10 minus 0 is 10. And so on and so forth. Example of subtraction is 45 minus 12 will give you that 3 as your difference. Addition. Combining two or more quantities to find the total amount is the definition of addition again. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Subtraction, finding the difference between two quantities by removing the smaller quantity from the larger one. For example, 9 minus 4 equals 5. Choose me. Multiplication of whole numbers. Definition. Multiplication is defined as repeated addition of a number. For example, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That is 3 times. It's the same as 3 times 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So multiplication is repeated addition of a number. Properties. We have commutative property, the way like the one we had for addition. So A times B is the same as B times A. 7 times 8 is 56. 80 times 7 is 56. Associative property, A times B, you get that product, times C gives you, again, you start with A and then you have a product B plus C. The result is the same. For example, 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 4, 24. Let's check on the other side. We have, we say 2 times 3 times 4. Okay? So 2 times 3 times 4. What is 3 times 4? 12. 12 times 2, 24. So the answer is the same. Distributive property, this is where you have a number outside and you have two numbers in the middle, and then the middle numbers are separated by a plus sign. So what do? You distribute this number A to each of the numbers which are inside the bracket. So A times B plus C is the same as A times B, and then the same A times C. You get the answer. All right? Identity property. A times 1 equals A. Any number you multiply with 1, you get the same result. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. And so on and so forth. Zero property. A times 0 is 0. Any number multiplied by 0 gives 0. 1 million times 0 is 0. 1,000 times 0 is 0. 100 times 0 is 0. 10 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And in multiplication, we have a number like 6 times 4, which gives you 24. Multiplication is repeated addition of the same number. Example, 4 times 3 is equals 12, which is the same as 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 12. So you repeat 4 3 times. Division, splitting a quantity into equal parts. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Division of whole numbers. Definition, splitting a number into equal parts. Property, non-commutative property. A divided by B is not equal to B divided by A. For example, 6 divided by 2 is 3, but 2 divided by 6 is 1 over 3. They are not equal. Identity property, A minus 1, A divided by 1 equals A. So if you divide any number by 1, you get the same number. And this property is used when we have whole numbers and we want to convert them to a fraction. We just say that number, like if it is A over 1. That is a fraction. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. 13 divided by 1 is 13. 26 divided by 1 is 26. Division by 0. Division by 0 is undefined. You cannot divide a number by 0. There is nothing like 2 divided by 0, or 4 divided by 0, or 9 divided by 0. Is undefined. We say, in mathematics, we say it is undefined. You cannot get the result. Example of division is 48 divided by 6. Lesson activities. Warm up 5 minutes, quick review. Ask students to recall and explain what whole numbers are. Discuss briefly. Brain teaser. Pose a simple addition or subtraction problem for students to solve mentally, to check their mental capabilities. Lesson activities. Warm up 5 minutes. Discussion prompt. Where do we use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in everyday life? Encourage students to share examples such as calculating money, measuring ingredients, and dividing items. So where do we use these? Addition, subtraction, multiplication in our day-to-day life, guys? Lesson activities. Introduction is 10 minutes. Addition and subtraction. Explanation. Introduce the concepts with simple examples on the board. Visual aids. Use number lines to show addition and subtraction. Practice problem. 7 plus 5 and 15 minus 8. Ask them what are the answers. Introduction, 10 minutes. Addition, explain the concept and properties of addition with examples. 15 plus 7 equals 22. Subtraction, explain the concept and properties of subtraction with examples. 28 minus 9 is equal to 19. Multiplication and division explanation. Explain multiplication as repeated addition and division as splitting into equal parts. Visual aids. Use arrays or groups of objects to demonstrate multiplication and division. Practice problem. 6 times 4, 20 divided by 5. So guys, sorry. So we had some discussion here with somebody. So may I continue and finish this video where I was in lesson activities and I was discussing about multiplication and division. Explanation was you explain multiplication as repeated addition and division as splitting into equal parts. Visual aids use arrays or groups of objects to demonstrate multiplication and division. Practice problem 6 times 4 and 20 divided by 5. Introduction 10 minutes. Multiplication. Explain the concept and properties of multiplication and examples. 5 times 3 is 15. Division. Explain the concept and properties of division with examples. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Activity 20 minutes. Distribute handouts with a variety of problems involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Students work in pairs to solve the problems. Work around to provide help and check for understanding. Practice problem. Distribute handouts with problems for each operation. Students solve problems individually or in pairs. Group activity. Divide the students into small groups. Each group solves a set of mixed operation problems on chart paper. Groups present their solution to class. Group activity. Divide the students into smaller groups. Each group is given a real-life problem to solve using the operations around. Example, calculate the total cost of several items. Determine the change from a purchase. Sharing an amount of money equally among friends. Finding the total number of objects in repeated sets. Homework. Assign a worksheet with the problems involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of whole numbers. Summary. Recap the key points of the lesson, definition and examples of each operation. Highlight common mistakes and tips for avoiding them. And raise any questions from students. Worksheet. Assign a worksheet with a mix of problems. Paul, the camera went off. Homework worksheet. Assign a worksheet with a mix of problems on addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of whole numbers. Assessment. Evaluate students' understanding through their participation in class activities and group work. Review the completed worksheets to assess individual comprehension. Addition notes. Encourage active participation and engage students with questions and encourage them to explain their reasoning. Real-life context. Relate problems to real-life situations to make the learning more relevant. Real-life applications. Highlight some real-life applications of each operation to help students understand their relevance. For example, addition, adding up the total cost of items when shopping. Subtraction, determining how much change is due after purchase. Multiplication, calculating the total number of items in several groups. And division, dividing a pizza among friends equally. Encouragement. Encourage students to ask questions if they do not understand a concept. Foster an interactive environment where students feel sharing their thoughts. These notes provide a structured approach to teaching operations with whole numbers, ensuring students gain a solid understanding of each operation and application. So guys, there ends our mathematics lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson by watching this video to the end. Subscribe to the channel after the end, or after watching up to the end, and share, comment, encourage others to watch my videos. Good night, guys. It's night now, and we call it a day.